Hi, I'm Tammy Laforest, and this is my CS50 mobile project number 2, the movie browser. We search for a movie. Upon submission, it loads up the results on the screen. Each individual result is clickable, and it pulls up more information about that item. My app.js is very simple. It's just an app container, which is a new requirement of the React Native navigation since these lectures were recorded. So I had to change that according to the new documentation. I have a navigation app navigator, and it is based on 2 tabs, and each tab contains a navigation stack. The first one is the home screen. We could also put something like the settings in this tab. And the second one is the search items, the search, the results, and the details. I have 4 screens. The home screen is very simple. We don't need to look at that. But the search screen, most importantly, processes information to the API. So it's going to clean up the URL. It's going to remove any white space at the end. See how I have spaces after My Little Pony here? That would create no results if I had submitted that. And it changes the white space in between the words to plus signs in order to make it URL friendly. So this new URL and the thing that I originally searched, these are passed as params over to my results screen. My results screen does a lot of important things. It calls this API. This API only returns 10 results at a time. So the first thing I need to do when I call this API is get the total results, and then divide that by 10, and that's how many times I end up needing to call the API in addition. And it will take the results that I get each time and concatenate them to my array that I have for the results, and then it's going to update the state based on that final array. This is called when in component will mount, and then it displays on the page. I have something here that shows it's loading because when it doesn't show up on the page, I had my friends test this out. They thought there were just no results, but it was actually just loading. So for something like Batman has 37, 38 calls to the API, so it takes a minute. So this loading screen is there. Also, if you search something that doesn't have any results, it wasn't telling you that before, so I actually created a no results feature. But more important, like this passes the params over of the title and the IMDb number, and the title becomes what is written at the top of the page, and the IMDb number calls the API in the way that is specific to the individual item. And I have it so that if one of these things is unavailable, if it's not available or if it's a space, it's going to not show up on the screen at all. And otherwise, this is just 2 sections. This is the information and the poster. The poster has its own component because with some testing, I learned that it only works on iOS and it doesn't work on Android at all, at least through Expo. So this component previously was leaving a big empty space. Now it just won't show up at all, so there will be no space if there isn't a poster. So an example of when there is no poster, it looks like this, but on Android previously it would be this big empty space instead. So now it just only shows up when that component exists, and otherwise it's a very simple just rendering of the information onto the screen. That is my whole app.